You know what time it is, family. Money hands are rubbing. Funky beat in the background. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Anyway, let's get into it. Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101, and today we'll be talking about NIO. There's been a lot of news coming out of China when it's heading to NIO, as well as Xpeng and also LI Auto, but I still believe that NIO is the better buy out of the three, because if you notice, NIO is being compared to Tesla, whereas though LI Auto and Xpeng are not, even though the LI Auto and Xpeng have been triple sales for the past 3 months here. They've been doing a lot better than NIO. But there's a lot of things about NIO I think that we need to get into and that we need to cover, so you guys totally understand what you're getting into, what could possibly happen, and the money you could be making. All right, so let's go ahead and start covering what NIO is looking like right now. So currently NIO for the past year, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, has been down 32%. In the past 3 months, they've been down as well, around 17%. The past month, 27%. The past week, less than 1%. And then today in the pre-market, they're down 0.5%. Okay. So here's my position, like always with NIO. My average cost is $37.55. That means I'm down. As you notice, I'm down $562 at a negative 21%. My total market value is $2,000. Okay, we're looking at some options that I have in NIO that expire in 2022 September, so I'm expecting that to turn around. Okay, the market capitalization for NIO, okay, is roughly $49 billion. That means if you wanted to buy NIO, that's how much money you have to have in hand. Okay, top news story: NIO closes a striking deal with Warren Buffett, backed BYD for mass marketing brand EV. Okay. Analyst rating from Robinhood for NIO: buy at 87.5, hold at 8.3, and sell at 4.2. Here are the earning ratings over the last fiscal year. And here's my history of my buys and sells. So that's just kind of a quick synopsis of where NIO is currently right now, family. And I know some of the questions that you guys have is that if you bought in at NIO around $50, you are absolutely down. I know a lot of people, given my advice, they went in and buy NIO and now they're sick to their stomach, because when they look at stock prices like this doesn't look too well. Now, there's a lot of information about NIO that's out there that I gathered here today to share with you guys very briefly. Now, I would say the worst thing that could happen to NIO if New York Stock Exchange delists NIO from their stock listing. That's the worst thing that can actually happen to NIO. I mean, amongst other things. But when we're talking about as far as an American investor, the worst thing that can occur to your stock, NIO, is if the New York Stock Exchange delists NIO, which I do not believe is going to happen. They have a lot of people like Warren Buffett behind them, as well as Elon Musk. Elon Musk loves competition, right? He loves competition, believe it or not. But anyway, let's cover a couple of things here. So this is coming from the Motley Fool. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with the Motley Fool. And it says here that the new ET5 sedan that we're going to look at that's coming from NIO is either going to be equal or exceed those of the competing Tesla model, especially the Model 3. Also, NIO expansion plans outside of China over the next 4 years. And here's the most important and least likely thing to occur: Chinese economy and regulatory environment, and it could even see New York Stock Exchange delisting. Okay, so let's move on. Number one, when we're comparing both Tesla and NIO with their new vehicles on the market, whether it be the Tesla Model S Plaid and also the new ET5 NIO sedan, we're talking about NIO is offering 620 miles per range, and where Tesla at the high is going to be around 520. Okay, this is a small comparison to kind of show you the value that NIO is pushing. That NIO is pushing innovation. Number two, here's some of the expansion markets that NIO will be in. Okay, they're going to be in Norway, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, and Denmark. See, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of European countries are socialist countries. They're not like America, where it is built upon capital, right? They're not a lot of those countries are not capitalists. A lot of their universal health care, universal dental care, universal university, like when they're going to school, universal education. They have a lot of socialist programs, okay? Socialist programs. And compared to America, we have a couple of socialist programs. We have public schools. That's a socialist program, because in other countries, you have to pay for regular school, undergrad school. But nonetheless, those prices that Tesla charge for their vehicles, I mean, for some people, very, very affordable, around $75,000 and up, where NIO vehicles like the ETF, and we're going to look at some other models from NIO, around $50,000. And a lot of you are saying, I can afford a $50,000, luxury sedan. But again, the markets are different, because NIO is trying to expand in the European market, because we don't sell any Chinese-made vehicles in America. Now, you know why? If Chinese vehicles came to America, first and foremost, the CIA, everybody's going to be thinking that China's going to be spying through their vehicles, which is possible. I'm not saying it's not. But they're going to be a lot cheaper than American-made vehicles. Think about it like this. If you guys ever started a business and you had things made, right? I'm just picking up objects, my water bottle, my remote, all of those things are made in China, and they're made on pennies on the dollar. Just imagine how cheap your electric vehicle would be, right? And the quality of standards of the American standards will be in those vehicles, because that's just our law here in America. But nonetheless, this is something really, really to think about, okay? Something to think about. Let me move on. So here's what a lot of other analysts are saying about NIO. It says, based on the forecast of long-term family, the NIO stock price prognosis around 2026, around $138 per share, okay, which is a percentage plus of 367, 368. Now, CNN Business has it at a forecast of $87 in the next 12 months or so. So a lot of you who are getting in currently with this particular price point, you guys can make around $50 per share, because the current price in NIO is around $29 per share. Now, a lot of you are still on a high end. You bought in around $45, $50, even $60 per share. There'll still be money to be made. In my opinion, family, if you have NIO shares and you bought it at a high price point, just hold on to your shares. Don't lose any of your money. This thing will turn around. Okay, again, as I gave a disclaimer early on, the worst thing that can happen if this stock is delisted, which I do not believe so. There's no indicators that this stock would be delisted. Okay. Again, we understand that China is a communist country, but there'll still be money to be made off their stocks, especially when they're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, let's move on. Now, here's a big plan that I think that's very important for you guys to understand the value within NIO. Here's a great partnership. So, according to the agreement, NIO and Shell will jointly construct and operate battery charging and swapping facilities. NIO and Shell plan to install 100 battery swapping stations in China by 2025 and start to construct and operate pilot stations in Europe from 2022. So here we go again. We have another American company in bed with NIO, and what they're going to do is make hybrid gas stations and electric vehicle charging stations, okay? Some of them may be independent, meaning that you're going to charge your vehicle as well as swap your battery, if that's a thing. Then you're going to have your regular old fossil fuel gas stations and also EV charging on one side or another. They're already doing that in China as we speak. In 2022, as they're moving into Norway, Germany, Netherlands, etc., they're going to start to build those with Shell in those countries too. So think about this. That's another great way for you guys to get into an investment. Think about Shell. Shell can be in another investment because they're in bed with a large EV company like NIO, okay? So let's move along. Now, here's some of the vehicles that you guys may not be familiar with, and I think it's important that you understand this when you're investing, is what is the competition? What does it look like? So here we go. Now, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with Tesla, But here's the new vehicle from NIO, the ET5 midsize smart electric sedan that is competing heavily with the Tesla Model 3. Now, here's their flagship, the smart electric flagship sedan, the ET7. Very, very beautiful vehicle. All these really look good in my opinion. Here's some of their SUVs. You have the the EC6, the smart electric coupe. And then you also have the ES8, which is the smart electric flagship, just like a regular SUV. Then you have these. You have the smart electric all-around SUV. Then you have the EP9, one of the world's fastest electric cars. Yes, this is it. Okay, I'm just showing you some little clips here. Going back up. I just want to see where your money will be invested in, family. This is a real thing. Now, unfortunately, none of these vehicles, again, as I told you before, are in America, but nonetheless, it doesn't have to be in America for you to make any money. Now, NIO ETF, I keep messing this thing up. ET5, China support looking Model 3 rival, offers battery swap and claims long range beyond 600 miles. Okay, this is how the vehicle look. Again, this is a direct competition with Tesla Model 3. Now, here's some of the things that is offered here, family. Dual motors on all-wheel drive powertrain generates around 482 horsepower. Then it goes from 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds. That's fast, okay? Here's a quick interior look of the vehicle, okay? Just like any other electric vehicle, a big, large LCD display. I love this little pop-up here. That looks pretty cool. Then it says NIO also operates a network of battery swapping stations in China. Like I told you before, this is already in the works. And it recently partnered with Shell to expand both battery swapping and conventional charging infrastructure, okay? That is large. And it says here, the automaker doesn't sell cars in the United States, but it launched in Norway earlier this year. Then it plans, as we spoke before, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, and Denmark in 2022, and wants to be established in 25 countries and regions by 2025. So there's no slowing down NIO. NIO wants to be one of the top marketers and sales of electric vehicles around the world. Now, one of the biggest markets that I know NIO will be trying to really get into, and with the help of Warren Buffett and other help, is America. We're the largest consumers on the planet. We buy everything. We want it, we buy it, okay? That's just what it is, okay? Let's move on. Now, I was looking at the EPS rating. You know, I love EPS rating, but of course, right now, NIO is not doing so well because the EPS rating out of 99 is currently a 44. And according to the SMR rating, that's a D on a scale of A, B, C, D, and E. So we're looking at an actual D, right? Nonetheless, there's still room here because of the competition in China that NIO will have to innovate even more so over the course of time. It states here that in Q3, NIO doubled EV sales, but Chinese startup rivals like LI Auto and XPeng nearly tripled in sales. That's kind of like the hot new fashion. You know, it's kind of like when you get a new brand. Take, for instance, right? You guys love Nike. So you got all types of Nike shirts and Nike shoes, right? And then Adidas comes out with a new model shoe and you buy Adidas, but you still buying Nike. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's like there's going to be some people who want to go out and buy LI Autos and XPengs around the world, except for America, because they're not even here. But nonetheless, people will continue to invest and buy NIO because they were the first, they're the most stable, and their price projections are astronomical compared to some of these others. Unless regulatory things occur, I still think this is a really, really good buy as I'm looking at this, okay? Now, this may be alarming to some people when you're looking at the RSI, aka candlesticks, because of the price point percentage and the large drop that occurred in the past 3 or 4 months. But again, this is something that I totally predicted. This is something I totally predicted that not just NIO, but stocks around, would it be the S&P 500, New York Stock Exchange, or the NASDAQ, stocks are across the board during this time from October to around January start to go down simply because of the holiday season. That's how it is, family. Now, just to kind of give you some compare and contrast as we're talking about XPeng as well as LI Auto. Now, granted, they can be great investments long-term as well. Also, their vehicles are just as great as NIO when we're looking at the design, the innovation. But number two, NIO has around 6 to 8 vehicles, where these other ones only have 2 vehicles. Okay, so this is XPeng. This is their P7 smart, super long range smart sedan. I'm not going to do the conversion here, family, but nonetheless, they have a lot of technology within this car. And I've done a video on XPeng before. If you want to go look that up. But nonetheless, this is one of their top leading vehicles here. And it's a nice looking vehicle. There's nothing negative I can say about it. They break it down so you guys can do the research. If you want to invest or either buy this vehicle, they are listed on the American stock exchanges. So you can go and buy this, and they tell you all about the technology and how it, can drive itself, blah, blah, blah. You know how it's self-autonomous driving. It has cameras in the door handles, etc. It has all these great features, okay? Sonar. Again, all of these vehicles roughly have the same sort of technology. Now, granted, I'm going to tell you the truth, family. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt. If I had to pick a Chinese vehicle to drive out of the 3, would it be NIO, XPeng, and then we're going to look at LI Auto very, very quickly here. This is LI Auto. Right now, they have an SUV. I think the SUV looks very, very stunning. It just says LI on the back of it, okay? But it looks like a really nice SUV. Technology, front rear dual motors, 4-wheel drive, fast charge, slow charge, blah, blah, blah. Family, this is a really good look at it from a distance. But nonetheless, it looks like a really, really good SUV. But nonetheless, out of the 3, my choice would be XPeng. I think that XPeng is really putting in a lot of technology in their vehicles. And I think they're trying to compete with NIO, but they don't want to go as fast as NIO, because NIO is competing worldwide with Tesla. So again, a lot of you don't want to get in bed with Tesla right now, because we're looking at $900 to $1,000 per share when it comes to Tesla. And you're like, hey, listen, I really want some shares. So I would definitely tell you to invest in NIO. Now, granted, this could be alarming because of the price percentage drop in the past 3 months here. But nonetheless, let me show you something very, very quickly, trajectory. When NIO first came out in 2018, it was $6 per share. Now, and again, it even dipped lower. I bought NIO around $3 per share on my first take. And then at the highest, NIO went up to around $62 per share. And of course, it's been on the tank ever since. Again, there are some other environmental factors that you guys need to factor in. One, did you know there's a shortage of semiconductors, aka microchips, around the world? There's just a shortage around the world. A lot of that is related to COVID-19 and people not be able to work, and materials and environment not be able to mine at the same rate and percentage. So there's a shortage around the world. I went to my local dealership to get an oil change. It's a new car dealership, and they had 3 vehicles on the lot. 3. And this is mainly because of the semiconductor shortage in America and around the world. So this is what essentially is hurting a lot of the sales of stocks, whether it be Ford, GM, NIO, XPeng, LI Auto, all of these. And I'm going to show you a price comparison very, very quickly here of XPeng. Their ticker is XPEV, by the way. Currently, they're up around $44 per share, and I showed you their year's price prediction. They've been up around 15%, around 16%. The past 3 months, 30%. The past month, around 17%, decreasing. And 1 week, we're looking at less than 1% down. And then in the pre-market today, 1% down. And the market is live, ladies and gentlemen. The market is live. So again, you're going to buy XPeng around $45 per share, versus NIO around $30 per share. And last but not least, let's just go ahead and look at LI Auto since I'm here. We're going to look at their price very quickly here. In the past year, I did it. Blame me, not your TV, okay? So in the past year, they've been up 8% the past 3 months, 12% the past month. They've been down around 18% the past week, down 2%. And today, in the live market, they're down 1%. But LI Auto is around $30 per share. But again, as I stated before, family, out of the 3, in my opinion, of these 3 Chinese EV stocks, NIO has the most value and worth long term. When it comes to buying a particular vehicle, then my choice is XPeng. Nonetheless, good morning, Jermaine, Anderson, and Primex. You guys have a great and wonderful day. If you're just joining me, rewind the video. There's a lot of great information I put out to make you guys a more well-educated investor. And again, if this stock is delisted, then we're all out of the money. But nonetheless, I'm going to continue to invest because I believe that it's going to pay off in the long term. Now, and especially the information I gave you guys about Warren Buffett, that's huge, huge news, okay? Let me just make sure I haven't left anything out for you guys because there's so much shaping up in the EV market, right? Because here's another thing here. It says the Chinese electric vehicle maker NIO is one of the hottest EV stocks traded on the U.S. exchanges, but it doesn't sell any products in the U.S. That could change sooner than investors may expect, okay? This may be, this may be world changing if there could be an actual Chinese vehicle driving around on American streets. We've never seen it before, even though they've been making their vehicles, for the last 50 years. So this would be, life changing. But technology is pushing. You guys are investing and we're all making money. You guys have a great and wonderful day. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. Have a great and wonderful hump day. I'm out.